Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to like one of the ugliest places I've ever looked at in a video game. Like, my goodness. This is really bleak. But it is like East Germany in the late 80s, so it doesn't really get much bleaker than that. Although Germany today is probably bleaker than that. Uh, but anyway, welcome to World War III, WARNO. This is a game on the new map between Thoughtful Frag and Spicy Pepper Sauce. Thoughtful Frag is a member of the Sheep Gang family, and he sent me this replay. This is the second person to send me a replay, and so any of you who want me to do this, please let me know in the comments. We can coordinate on Discord, I think is the way to do this, or on Steam. And I enjoy doing this, so just let me know, and if you have replays we can send them in. So we've got Thoughtful Frag playing 1st Armored Division and Spicy Pepper Sauce, and Thoughtful Frag had some comments about this which I'll read now while the deployment sort of starts. So he says, for the record, I hate this map for 1v1, way too big. Okay, so I completely agree, this map is a horrible hellscape. I've actually kind of been winning a lot on it, but it's so ridiculous, this map. So many little houses that you have to like think about with so many weird angles. And then these expanses out here, it's kind of wide, it's kind of long, like you said, too big. Anyway, talking about smoking into the objective would probably be good. I think I did it well this time. This is Thoughtful Frag talking. If he decided to push me in the center, I would have had a difficult time defending the troops he has placed there, and he got too focused on taking back the objective I got. In a spread out map like this, I've found that condensing your forces to take an objective is almost indefensible due to how spread out units are. Around 27 he makes a push, and I just kill the command unit with a rocket plane. He did not have very good AA net over there, so I could use air support a lot. He almost pushes again at 38, but I do the same and kill the commander. Okay, so some basic information. So we're gonna look for smoke. We're gonna watch air play, and just sort of look at how both sides spread out their units. So of course Spicy Pepper here is playing a division I know very well, 35th, and Thoughtful Frag is playing the 1st Armored Division, which I have played against, I think, pretty successfully. I know that 1st Armored doesn't have a good AA. I know that they can come forward with helos, but it looks like Thoughtful Frag is coming forward with Terrier Pares. I like this. I think this is a good call. Okay, let's slow it down. This is a strange deployment. This is a very strange deployment. It looks like Spicy Pepper Sauce is going for a full push into... Can we see what he's doing here? Okay. So he's behaving kind of strangely by not putting them on different roads. As you can see, they can get kind of clumped up. They do bump into each other a tiny bit, but they can kind of smush together without too much problem. So it looks like he's spreading along this line here, but all along this road. And then Thoughtful Frag is going heavy with the forward deploy, and behind this I would say a kind of a much better deployment for Thoughtful Frag than Spicy Pepper Sauce. Wider, better spread of AA, CV's coming forward, this will give him an early tick. Yeah, so I really don't have much to say about this opening. It's normal to me. I think maybe group your javelins a little closer. You sort of want them in pairs, so that it goes over one and then the other one can fire once the flares have been popped off, but this is fine. We'll come up to neutral and normal speed, and then we'll hide the panel. So here we go. A lot of ATGMs for the 35th player. Quite a bit of Spetsnaz and Desantniki coming forward. Some Afghansi. That's cool. I approve of that. 2 CVs, but Thoughtful Frag has 2 CVs as well, so he's not going to get a massive tick. Maybe he might pop up above 100 just because these 35th CVs are substantially faster. And here we go. So some Perrier kills some Desantniki. Good positioning there. That's a great position for some infantry. These paras are kind of watching along this this road right here, or I guess this is a rail road. I think it's better to just start immediately pushing through the city. I've had multiple fights here where this city can turn into a bloodbath, and the sooner you can get along to like this line, the better. Especially against a a civilization like 35th. They're gonna, if they infest in here, it's gonna be hard to get them out. So I would be pushing forward right away with these. So the 35th player, probably not surprisingly, given his forward deploy, does have a +2. And looks like an HE bomber comes out. And oh, did these not get? Oh, they're moving. Okay, so HE bomber, I guess, loses sight. Moves in for something. No, so he's just hovering an HE bomber around. 35th AA is not amazing, and especially in the beginning when they're probably not going to have a crazy AA net. Did he pull this out? I think he pulled it out. Is that evacing? Not quite sure. It doesn't have the symbol above, so no, it's not. So I think it's worth it there to dive it with a plan. If you see a 35th laser guided bomb or HE bomber or something wandering around, then I think it's good because the AA in 35th is really bad. So it's down to a +1. He is at 150, and this isn't what I think the error that both players are making is they're holding still. It looks like, okay, so it looks like Thoughtful Frag is going for a pretty wide line here to kind of probe things out and get an idea of where to push, which is totally fine. I think there could just be a little more probing right in the beginning. Like the pros are like always probing, even if they're playing like a slow build-up deck like First Armored, just to like get that information, you know. So here we go. The HE bomber comes forward. Does it see something? Javelin gets a sight on it. Fires. Javelin misses. That javelin gets a hit. But a nice build up here for Armored Frag. This HE bomber's wounded. Spicy pepper sauce is sending forward more AA. Probably a good idea. And look, here we go. Thoughtful Frag does what I was saying, but I guess he mismicroed that. That's unfortunate. You might still be able to get it. Oh, it's missing so much. Yeah, I think right there you're being a little too cautious about his AA right in the beginning of the game. In the beginning of the game, there's some divisions that have radar-based AA that can kind of shut down an area for planes, but 35th does not have radar-based AA, so you can go crazy because there are not going to be that many Iglas. There might be some Strelas moving forward, but that was out there before. That thing was wandering around back there. Sorry, I should blow my nose. That thing was wandering around in the back line because it lost its target for a long time before these Strelas were showing up. And so I think your instinct there was right, just a little slow on deciding to do it. And then you would have gotten it, and it would have been a big kill for sure. So yeah, don't overestimate your opponent's AA in the beginning of the game. I make the same mistake all the time. So it looks like both players are getting a buildup of some like infantry fighting vehicles. These FV-10 Warrior appliques I'm not familiar with. I'm not sure if they're better or worse. They have a Milan too, which is better than all the Soviet ATGMs. it has more of them. And then their auto cannon, I don't know, 30 millimeter versus 30 millimeter, probably about the same. Grad, probably not surprising. This is going to be your main problem here. And against some players, you can counter battery them. It looks like no, but it looks like he's moving them. They're pretty hard to counter battery because they're in a vehicle. So this spicy pepper sauce definitely made the right call by bringing out a grad. He should bring out both because one of these mini grads can't really kill much. He's got. I'm curious if you can see these Spetsnaz anywhere. Okay, you can't. These Spetsnaz are at the front. If you could see them, I would say you should be bombing them, but you can't see them. Thoughtful Frag can't. Pulimachiki here, pretty good position, but fair amount of armor here. Definitely a superior amount of armor. I think, once again, both sides are being a little too static. I think they should both be pushing forward with at least something to get to kind of, like, look at the vision really quick. Thoughtful Frag can see a BMD. You can see some movement over here. You can see an Acula, which is often worth diving, especially in the beginning of the game. Once again, the AA is not going to be there. You should be diving that Acula. That's 260 points. That's a huge kill, and they die pretty easily. So, Thoughtful Frag can see some stuff, which you should be going for. Spicy Pepper can't see anything, and there's like very little recon up here. But if you don't have recon, then you should be pushing forward to at least get an idea of where something is. So we'll go back to neutral. So yeah, this Acula, oh, that kind of pains me that that's not dying. So there's a big build up here, bringing some mortars in. Thoughtful Frag's position is definitely stronger. I think at this point he could just sweep through with all this armor. And Spicy Pepper Sauce would be forced to route helicopters over here to try to stop it, but I don't know if he'd even be able to. Javelin opens up on an Mi-8 rocket helo. It gets one hit but misses. I guess this dropped off something here. High explosive bomber comes for Spetsnaz. Beautiful. That's exactly what we want. Double kill there with the D-44. Great bombing run. Absolutely perfect. And as you can see, even though he had an Igla, he only had one Igla there and a Strela. And Iglas and Strelas are really terrible. So, and especially on this map where the vision's going to be so bad in the city, definitely be aggressive with your air. Out in the open, like right here, it'll see the plane coming in and get a shot off earlier. Here, this Igla's in a good position. These buildings are perfect for that. But like this Strela can't see anything. And if you had like an Igla like lazily placed in here, they can't see anything. These are the ideal places to put your Iglas on this map, the skyscrapers. Pulimachiki come forward and take out a Javelin. And now we can see this armor just open up. This is good. The grads fire, but it's only one grad, so it's not going to be that impressive. Spicy Pepper Sauce does a good job of microing this out, but he is definitely feeling the pain here. God, what's wrong with my nose? Arm rifles are going to kill this Desaniki. This is a great push here. I don't even think smoke is really necessary here. He doesn't really have anything to smoke. These rockets are the problem though. Your Javelin died, or Thoughtful Frag's Javelin died here. It would have been good to micro that out. Tornado comes in and finishes it off, so that's good. He did lose a Centurion. I need to stop. Yeah. These need to unload. They're getting hit with grads, but again, it's just one grad. There's the other grad. Oh, there are 4 grads. Lots of grads. Mortars are firing. I'm not sure what they're aiming at. Okay, so you're just assuming that there's something in here. Of course, in retrospect, that's unnecessary, all this smoking. It does kind of guard you from anything that's going to come in here, so you can actually infest the point. But I would say, before you smoke, probe a little bit with your infantry to at least see what you're doing this to, because this is just needless. But I am someone who basically never smokes, so I'm not one to talk here, but this is of course unnecessary. It's also going to kind of block your vision of stuff in here for your tanks to try to take out. That's going to cause some serious troubles unless you get this tracked rapier up or just a plane. There's no AA over here, so, but of course it's impossible to tell that. Is that a smoke that I saw right there? This thing's gonna get one of these IFVs. Oh no, is it gonna kill that thing? More smoke. Okay, so here I think what you're doing here is a little unnecessary with smoke. Use your smoke against. You don't always need it, and like these things are being harmed in here, like this. You want them out of the smoke. You want them to have good vision. But Thoughtful Frag does get the point. Brings the tick to an end. Spicy Pepper Sauce has 500 points. But he's utterly lost this. And it's going to be difficult to get it back. He needed to get ATGMs in here. And like some kind of infantry presence. He was totally right with the helicopter. I think he should have sent that Acula over earlier. Because Thoughtful Frag did not have much AA here. He killed it, or Spicy Pepper killed a Javelin. He has a Sneed plane out, but I'm not seeing any radar-based AA for Thoughtful Frag. Grads fire at the mortars, but Thoughtful Frag has mindfully moved them. Once again, I think it's right here. Maybe this rifles could get back, but yeah, especially with the grads coming out, spread everything out right away. Take these buildings, push forward, use your units. Don't keep them here like this. They're just going to get gradded. This might die to an ATGM. No, it lived. And yeah, I'm starting to see why Thoughtful Frag in his message to me was saying that his opponent could definitely push down the center, because he definitely could. All of his points are in the center here. So I think once Spicy Pepper saw that this attack came from this flank, his response should have been, you know, send the Acula over, try to reinforce this a little, but certainly push down the middle. Because there are fewer points here, and all of this could be cleared by all these Spetsnaz and ATGMs and all that. Another Acula coming forward. I think Spicy Pepper's making the mistake of being too risky with his Aculas. It's better to send a cheaper rocket or helo forward in general. I did just say that he should have sent Acula over here to deal with that, but send sorry. To send another one like this is a huge mistake. Yeah, like this thing is what you should send forward. Okay, so the rocket Jaguar goes down to a fighter plane. And it looks like, I think this is common in a lot of games, there's sort of a slowdown at around this time. I think at higher levels this slowdown happens earlier, but it happens at high levels as well. Like in pro games, I think it's around the 30-minute mark. After about 10 minutes of play, there's a slowdown. And I don't think it's particularly well understood why that happens, but it does. And I think at lower levels it happens about 5 minutes later. So whatever it is, whatever this effect is, as you can see, there's nothing happening. And I think it's, I don't know what my theories are. I know that I am often feverishly microing in the initial phases, like trying to get that advantage, and then sometimes there's a slight buildup of points. So it might just be a point buildup, where suddenly both players who've been microing realize that they need to like adjust stuff, and that they have like unspent points. Or it might just be that's just a theory. So right now there's a bit of a slowdown. I think it's an error to have this slowdown. It'd be better, like right now, if either side were pushing forward with their infantry, whoever did that would have an advantage, because you'd get to see what your opponent has. And right now, I guarantee they can't really see each other. Yeah, Thoughtful Frag can see these two helos, which are really easy to see, like when they're not at change altitude level. Yeah, they can just see each other's helos. They can't see anything else. And I think the proper thing to do is advance. Send these rifles forward. They'll get sprayed by the Spetsnaz, but then you can bomb them. Or, send these forward. They'll get sprayed by that. Then you can kill them with your plane. But you're using... Thoughtful Frag is using a bomber to try to destroy that. I guess it was on the ground, but he got it up at the last minute. I think he just wants a fighter plane here. Grads are getting recycled. As someone who's recently started trying to spam my grads a little more efficiently, this is not particularly good grad spam. You want it to be constant. This is not constant. But I mean, he doesn't see Thoughtful Frag's units. He doesn't have anything to attack because he's not pushing forward a little. So he's just sort of shooting in the dark. So I guess it's understandable that he's not shooting, but he's got to move forward. Both sides got to move forward. Because otherwise it's just going to be a build-up. I guess this is good for Thoughtful Frag. First of all, he has the tick. And second of all, he is an armored division, and the more of a build-up he can get, the better for him. And then Thoughtful Frag is doing a great job of getting like a nice wide arc. As you can see, there's sort of a crescent shape here, which just for common sense reasons is superior to being more of a sort of smaller crescent shape within the crescent shape. It's sort of like, it's like Thoughtful Frag is like spooning Spicy Pepper here. Spicy Pepper's getting spooned, and you don't want to get spooned. You want to be spooning in this game. So that's that. I think Spicy Pepper's kind of tunnel visioning here. Maybe actually I don't know. It seems like it's defensive. If he's preparing a counterattack here, I think that's a mistake. I think he should counterattack somewhere where all of Thoughtful Frag's tanks are not. But he's sending a lot of units here, really bunching them up into these buildings too. Pulamachiki go down as some rifles come forward. And then some rifles go down, and he gives a general advance. Not sure how this is going to go. This rifle will go down. There's a BMD-2 supporting. Grads come down, but it looks like these buildings were mostly evacuated. So Thoughtful Frag doesn't get harmed too much there. What I'm worried about for Spicy Pepper here is all this grouped infantry. Here comes a rocket plane. Gets some nice kills. Kills the commander. High explosive bomber comes forward. Track Draper is going to see it. It does go down. Did it get its munitions off? I don't think it did. Now there's this Soviet infantry is coming under the English armor fire. These armored rifles are doing a good job. Great micro here to just save these units. Always good to save your units. But yeah, this infantry is utterly surrounded. This isn't good. They're going to do good damage against this infantry, but Thoughtful Frag staying on top of the micro. This one might go down if it gets stunned. BMDs try to fire their ATGMs off. Looks like there was a trade in infantry fighting vehicles, and then there's a nice attack AT MiG-27 run, followed up by fighter plane shots from the Soviet player. That was pretty good. This tracked rapier is going to do a good job of shutting down the... oh no, it looks like the AT heli. So a lot of that got taken down. Good response with the tornado there. And I would say that while there were some losses that were taken by Thoughtful Frag, this was a failure. This would have been a situation where smoke would be really good. So smoking along the back here, or just like smoking it so that the tanks can't see into the zone would be good. He does clear the infantry out of the zone, but this is not going to be sustainable. These Spetsnaz are going to go down. These are all one hit. He's trying to retreat. AT comes forward to try to kill these helicopters, which, I mean, he needs to do, but he should have noticed that he's losing all those. This tracked rapier is performing quite well. Need to get supply to it. HE bomber comes forward and finishes off this infantry here. So, really, an interesting exchange here. Neither player playing perfectly, but Thoughtful Frag certainly coming off better there. He's still has his tick. ATGMs are going to keep the place under control. Good AA net. A lot of helicopters died, but great trading, because all of the Soviet planes, like a huge number of Soviet planes, went down for, you know, 2 or 3 helicopters, which he seems to have already replaced. And armored rifle, or whatever these are, arm rifles. Just saunter forward and retake the point. Oh, what is wrong with my nose? More artillery for the Soviet player. This time coming for a tank. Let's take a look at we'll look at Thoughtful Frag's vision. Not too good.
Enemy at 3 o'clock. Hi.
So more recon in the front would help here. We got this Scorpion, but like infantry recon is what you want right here. You want one like, you know, here would probably be good. Just right along here. You've got this scout here, which is I think giving you most of your vision.
One less enemy.
More recon. And then Spicy Pepper. Can see a lot of helos back here, but not much else. He needs recon in here, pushing up to here. I guess this is the best place to have. So, what's interesting to me is that the Soviet player, Spicy Pepper, is still continuing to build up his line over here. I think you either advance or build up one place to try to take this back. But just at this point, arbitrarily building up the line, seeing how many points your opponent has put over here, I think is the error. I could be wrong about that. I think I misjudge that all the time, so not quite sure. Artillery landing in here, it's a pretty obvious place to go for. Big buildup of BMDs. These are going to have a tough time against First Armored, which has sort of medium tanks that are perfect for killing BMDs. Are these like heavy tanks? I'm not quite sure. But ATGMs are no joke. Huge buildup of helos. And the Soviet player is not bringing the SPAA, anti-helo AA, which is really good against infantry now. And then his civilization, or his division, has the Afghansky AA piece, which is slightly armored, so it can like take some damage. There's also a cheap forward deployable one. You should definitely be bringing these up if you can see all those helos. But maybe that he doesn't have them in the deck. But yeah, look at all that. I mean, here we go. MiG-27's coming forward. I guess going for the Challengers. But I think he's gonna lose vision, and now they're just gonna die. Unfortunate for him. That should have been done in concert with a advance. But everything I'm saying, by the way, is like way easier to say. Like, for those of you who don't play WARNO, like, both of these players would utterly smoke you guys, so don't, any advice I give is easier said than done. Big build up here. I think Thoughtful Frag could be advancing through here. I think Spicy Pepper could be pushing through here, although that's now no longer quite as good. Earlier he could have pushed in the center. Here, I would actually say that if, well, with all these helos, this is like a critical mass of helos that, you know, like, Thoughtful Frag has reached a critical mass of helos that, he might be able to sweep this whole thing with, I actually think, yeah, Thoughtful Frag could sweep this right now. There are a fair amount of ATGMs, but if he led with, I don't know, that's a lot of BMDs. The question is whether or not he should start with the helos or with non-helos. I'm not quite sure. I think he should send some tanks over here and kind of push from this angle. What can he see?
Enemy at 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
High.
I think since you have this vision here, you can be pretty confident that there's not much here unless there's like a recon unit hiding in there. But I wouldn't assume that necessarily. And so I think this is just the principle of don't attack the enemy head
Enemy
on.
at 3 o'clock. High.
Go around to the side and flank. Go to the side. And I think this whole thing could be getting shut down way harder. It looks like he might be having a similar idea, but I would like to see it come along this road and get way out to the flank. A lot of helicopters. That's so many helicopters that if you got them over there and shut some stuff down here, you could literally just sweep along this with your armor as well. So here we go. It looks like right as I've been saying it looks like Thoughtful Frag has come to the same conclusion. He sends the helicopters forward. One goes down to Estrella. So these are pretty weak helicopters. Looks like they go down pretty fast. There is an ATGM. It's going to cause some trouble. These tanks come forward. I think, yeah, okay, so it looks like he's which you know, it's easy for me to say, ooh, you should go around the side, but it looks like he's sort of come to the same conclusion. As he tries to push through here, he's like, okay, I'm going to back up, and hopefully he'll come around this way. Tons of ATGMs now. That's a lot of Conquerors mobiles. You should be definitely popping smoke. And backing up. Rocket Helo comes forward. It looks like a lot of these Conquerors are going to move forward. Yeah, that's more ATGMs than I realized. Rocket Helo sees this. Javelin. Did it lose vision? Did he like change altitude? And that's like a fair amount of pushback here. These Sneed planes finish off that. One of them goes down. HE bomb fires it and destroys something and gets away. Even though it sails over a lot of AA in here. This Sneed needs to just be pulled back. Once again, Thoughtful Frag, if you're watching this, 35th does not have radar AA, but I think you use these for more AA purposes than anti-radar, but it's always good to know which divisions have radar AA and which ones don't. He lost like one helo here, but I think all his tanks survived. Here comes an advance from the Soviet player, starting with the Conquerors mobiles. Not a great way to start an attack. Those things are really weak. they'll go down to pretty much anything that locks onto them. You want them behind, firing ATGMs without getting fired on. The infantry comes forward. Thoughtful Frag sends forward the tanks cautiously, which I think is appropriate. I'm not sure who's using this smoke here, but I think this is an intelligent use of smoke for the Soviet player. If it's Thoughtful Frag who used that smoke, that's not good, because you're cutting off your own vision of this, but I wasn't paying attention to who used the smoke there. Will this commander get into the point? No, it's not. But it looks like... Who's using that smoke? Oh my god, it goes down. I feel bad for the Soviet player there. I think he definitely attacked him. But as they come into these buildings, they're going to come under withering fire from a bunch of tanks and helicopters. So this is where the smoke would be good, right along here. And then if you're attacking from this direction, it would be right along here. So I'm trying to like put my finger on the principle with wait, where's all this dying? Is that just in here? I guess they're doing a fair amount of this infantry is doing a fair amount of damage. This armor is pretty close here. Yeah, it's within RPG range, so they're going to die. And then I think there's a meta squad in here too. So that was a not terrible attack, but only just because, like, the only reason all this died is that Thoughtful Frag had his armor a little too close to these buildings. Again, I think if they're out here, you could be accomplishing the same thing. Back here, just back up a little. And now there is an infestation of infantry here now. And if the Soviet player can get this point, he'll get his tick back. I don't know if it'll be enough though. And it looks like now Thoughtful Frag's tanks are in the right position, and he's able to just bombard this. Again, smoke along here. I'm going to try to put my finger on the principle here. You want to obscure... Because I made the same mistake where... Oh, that's... Okay, so the tick stops, but he doesn't get the point, so he's not going to get the tick himself. He's lost a lot of CVs at this point, so... Not pretty, but the... I guess the principle with smoke is to make it so that your opponent's forces can't shoot you, and so that you can move across the field. Like, so in this situation, the field is right here, and the field kind of extends all the way back here. And so, to take this point, you need to like block off everything that can be seen along here and here. When you're attacking from this direction, it's along here. To me, attacking from this direction might be easier, because it's hard to get tanks to like see this whole thing. I think the key to this whole point is over here. If you can control this, you control the whole thing. Like an ATGM in here threatens all of this, and from this direction it threatens everything over here. So I think this building, this thing for vision, and then this sort of expansive city over here are the key. So he surrendered. And it looks like Thoughtful Frag did an advance over there. So nice KD for Thoughtful Frag. And yeah, look at this. Nice kills. Tanks doing well. This is a great situation for First Armored. For what else did well? It looks like the MVP was either this, very nice, or Actually, honestly, I think this is. Certainly in terms of points, I think. What is that, like 220, 440, 660, 760, 8, 900 maybe, um, 1150, so 1200 points killed by one tracked rapier. So that went really well. This thing killed a lot of infantry, and this, I guess the only thing I'd like to see against 35th is with a HE bomber, more Spetsnaz, but the Spicy Pepper didn't really advance with his Spetsnaz, so it's not weird that that didn't happen. But definitely when you're playing against 35th, you want your laser guided bomb killing Spetsnaz all the time, because they don't have that many of them. And then once that's dead, your infantry has a chance at defending and attacking. For Spicy Pepper, how did his units do? He had a MiG-29 do okay, and those are just, I'm not sure how much those are, but it's not the craziest thing I've ever seen. His grads killed the chieftain, and then yeah, I think the moral of the story in this game is that if you build up, you are going to first of all have no information about what your opponent is doing, and two, whoever has more is the more like heavy team. So in other words, first armored in this situation is a tank division, and 35th is a very soft infantry division that relies more on, like, attacking where your enemy is weak. So who's gonna win in the build-up? Obviously, first division. So, but I think Thoughtful Frag, of course, ended up doing everything right there, but I think he could have established this win earlier on if he was a little more aggressive with his with just probing and sort of testing out where the enemy is, not being too passive. Yeah, and I think with his passiveness, if Spicy Pepper had been aggressive, his passiveness he would have gotten targeted with 4 grads, which is no joke. That's a lot of grads. Like if Spicy had been attacking Thoughtful Frag, he could see them. He could see him, and the grad spam would have been so much more annoying. And so that's that. Thank you for watching. Again, if you guys have any replays that you want me to watch, let me know, and I will review them. I hope this was entertaining, and I will see you guys in the next one.